everyone. Welcome to Uncensored, the Truth About Money. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate it. So, as you would know, we are a financial education podcast where we teach you everything concerning money, anything concerning finances. We provide that information and education to help you make sound decisions with your hard-earned cash. And thank you so much from the people of Ignite. Thank you so much to the people of Ignite for sponsoring us with this water. So obviously you can get this. We'll just leave the phone numbers should be on the description below. So if you have an event or whatever the case is, or you just want them for daily consumption at home, you can just call that number and then they can supply you with the water and deliver wherever you are in South Africa. And it's very affordable. So thank you so much to the team from Ignite for sponsoring us with this water. And we pray that we may have a long-lasting relationship.
Yeah.
And that they may sponsor even with other things, you know. They must make cold drink. No? Or what? Gin. Everyone is making gin. Have you noticed?
It's the COVID thing.
Is it that easy?
It's the COVID thing.
Pratams, how you doing?
Great yourself, man.
I'm good.
100%. Yes, it's foreign to me. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Okay, I think
we'll cover it in another episode. Hey, financial education about gin.
But everyone is making gin. Anyways, so last week we started on a topic, estate planning.
Yeah.
And we could not finish because of time. So hopefully today we can get through as much as possible. So just to summarize or just to refresh our memory, what is estate planning?
So basically, estate planning it's a planning to what happens with your assets, right? So we go through life and we attain all these assets, we attain our liabilities, we attain all of these things, right? Cars and so forth. So basically, estate planning in a nutshell is making sure that your assets go to the right people and taking care of like the taxes that are involved in the estate planning, for example, right? And I know last week we didn't cover like some of the things, that got to do with with estate planning.
Yeah.
But we covered like I think just the gist of it. So there's drafting of a will, which we did.
Yeah.
Black people, please go draft a will. It doesn't mean that you must have money. Everyone must have a will. Safekeeping of that will, trust administration, estate administration. So if you need more information on these ones here, just click on the previous episode. We went in detail with these. And the last one that we basically did not cover was beneficiary care. So beneficiary care is nominate who's going to be the guardian of your children.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you pass away, or you and your spouse pass away while your children are still young, you will nominate in your will to say that your aunt or your sister or your brother are the ones that will be the guardians of your children. So basically, that's just the gist of it. And then so that was basically just the gist and the synopsis.
And just to easily put it, what exactly is a will? Like, what's a will?
So basically, a will is a piece of document that you draft. So let's put it this way: it speaks for you. It's your spokesperson when you passed away.
Yeah.
So it basically says your last wishes. So this is what I want to happen when I pass away. So such and such must have my Ferrari. Such and such must have my car. Such and such must have my investments and so forth. So in the gist of it, that's what a will is. Yeah.
And at what age can you have a will?
From 16 years old.
Is it?
Yeah. So I think we must go to matriculants and we must do like Hammer Road shows on wills.
So with that said, from age of 16, so then what can you put in a will?
Anything. As long as you own something, you can basically put it in a will, because people fight for everything, man. Like people, I won't say people are petty, but maybe there's emotions involved and people want, let's say even your jacket. I won't say put your jacket in the will, but like people will fight over your jacket. You know what I'm saying?
Even this sweater, nice sweater, by the way.
We got merchandise now, uncensored. Yeah. Do your research.
Anyways, let's continue.
So from 16 years old. So basically, Everyone must have a will. And the reason why I say that is that so that you can get into the practice of drafting a will. And what's important is that you need to keep your will up to date.
Okay.
A lot of people, they draft their will, let's say at 25 years old, they just got their first car, first house, they just got married with their first child, right? And they've got a will. But now at 35, let's say for example, touch with their divorce and they remarry, but now they did not update their will to the new spouse, for example.
So-
If they pass away, the old spouse will still benefit everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
Yeah,
and then factors to consider when you are drafting a will.
So factors to consider basically when drafting a will, right? So these are your assets. What you don't consider as well is your liabilities as well, right? Another thing to consider is who's going to be nominated guardian for your children.
Okay.
Okay. Others as well is, for example, your marital status. So you need to disclose in your will. Okay. So on the way here, actually, I was listening to a radio show and they were speaking to a financial advisor. So they're also saying that even in your will, right? Because like we are discreet about our investments, we don't want to tell our children and spouse about our secret funds. So in your will, draft those things because guess what? I think they made a stats. There's 32 billion rands in South Africa of unclaimed funds.
Yo, yeah,
32 billion rand. You know what I'm saying? So those are some of the things that you need to consider when you drafting your will to say that I've got investments in these companies. If I pass away, this and this person must get them. Because a lot of people are saying, they're poverty stricken, but yet there's money that's awaiting them, but they don't know that there's money there. You know what I'm saying? So so basically just be clear when you drafting your will. Yeah.
And I'm just seeing some of these things here. I don't know if you can maybe flip to the next page. There's executor fees, there are taxes and CGT. I don't know what that is. Income tax, VAT, and estate duty. So obviously, like with the executor fees, is this like administration fees within the will or whatever the case is?
So executor fees. So basically, an executor is someone who is going to, how can I put it, fulfill the instructions that you have put down in your will.
Sure.
So, for example, we put down our uncle is our executor. So the uncle, family don't really charge executors fees. But companies, they charge executors fees, like let's say Standard Bank, for example.
Yeah.
So when you pass away, for executing your instructions or your last wishes in the will, they will charge a certain fee. So they can charge up to 3.5 of your estate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And then why should you consider things like taxes? What's CGT?
CGT is capital gains tax. So capital gains tax is like, for example, I buy Ignite mineral water for 100 rand, right? When I pass away, it's 200 rand.
Sure.
So that capital gain, so that
Okay.
extra 100 rand, there's
Yeah.
a tax involved
Yeah.
with that as well. Because now remember, they are selling this this product to beneficiaries, right? So it's being
Yes.
disposed of.
Yes.
So once it's been disposed of, it's considered, let's say for example, a sell in layman's terms. So it attracts CGT, capital gains tax. So that also has to be considered as well within your estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then estate duty?
So estate duty is if that's SARS now. That's where SARS. So you can't avoid tax.
SARS is
Even when you-
everywhere.
Even when you pass away, SARS will still get you.
Oh my
But they
goodness.
only get to you if your estate is more than 3.5 million. They still adjust it, but if it's more than 3.5 million, there's a certain percentage that they start charging in excess of that. So basically what this means is that you need to have estate planning, basically with all these factors considered, right?
Yeah.
You need to have liquidity within your estate. So if you know that your liabilities are 5 million, right? Kyajunior has to have a life cover that says pay to estate to cover all of these income taxes and CGTs and so forth. Yeah.
Sure. We're almost out of, in fact, we are out of time, but what happens if you pass away and no one claims?
Yeah. So if no one claims, so obviously people will look for your will, all right? So if they can't find your will, they'll go to, let's say, where you worked. If at your work there was no will in place, because there's certain companies that have that benefit. So it falls into Interstate Succession Act. Interstate Succession Act. All right? Yeah, got it right. So
water.
basically, it's the water, my man. So basically, what that means is that if Junior does not have a will, they will look for your closest blood relatives
Okay.
to inherit your estate, right? And basically, what that means is that if you have children, so your children will get equal portions. If you have a spouse, your spouse will get a share that's equal to the children, right? And then the remainder will obviously be distributed. If you don't have a spouse, if you don't have children, it will go to your parents, all right? If you don't have parents, if you don't have a spouse, if you don't have children, what then happens is that they start looking for extended family members, all right? If you don't have living family members, what happens is that if no one comes to claim your estate within 30 years, the government takes the money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you seen those? Obviously, those are scammers. They would send you like an SMS to say your grandfather what left you with whatever amount of money. But is there such a thing? Because I remember there was a lady that was saying, okay, let me put it like this. Is there a way to check? For example, let's say I'm a Masango. Is there a way to check if maybe my grandfather from wherever maybe left something, or maybe there are some things that are unclaimed, or whatever the case is?
Yeah, so for you to do that, right, only an executor has the powers to do that. So if someone is a nominated executor and the Masters of High Court has identified and nominate that person as an executor, then they can, go into this certain system like Astute, for example. They can, let's say, basically put in the ID numbers and, all the information of that person will come through. But it's a process. So it's not like I will go and say, hey, I want to see my grandfather's stuff. I've got his ID number. Then that's when fraud occurs. But the Masters of High Court needs to be involved. So it's a whole process for people to find out. But even if you type on Google how to claim or how to see unclaimed benefits, there's websites that actually can, take you through it. And people have actually benefited from that as well.
Yeah. I know there's a lady who once did something like that, and luckily she benefited,
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we've got farms somewhere.
Yeah, we must check, man. Obviously, we're out of time, but time's up. But we're going to have a part 3 of this, right? Because there's still like quite a bit that we must get through.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. As Pratamza said, we are selling merch, uncensored merchandise. Do your research. you are wearing your catchphrase.
Do your research, man.
So yeah, if you want a match, please do. We are on Instagram. Just send us a direct message on Instagram. We are uncensored _ the truth about money. That's Instagram and Facebook, and we are also on TikTok. On TikTok, we are uncensored _ financial edu. And please note that this podcast is also available as audio on Google Podcast, Apple, and as well as Spotify. So yeah, did I leave anything out? That's about it.
That's about it, yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, and until next time, cheers.